And welcome to a very special episode of the Pink
Monopoly.
Boys podcast. And you know why it's crazy is because I'm joined by everyone. And some would say the more the merrier, but it seems like with this podcast, the more people we have, the worse it is. So hopefully we can break that trend this episode. And I'll just go out of my way to say this. I don't know if Tyson or I want to say this. I wasn't a fan of the last episode. That wasn't good listening. We could do better than that.
Guys, I'm sorry for that. That was like a really shit episode.
Yeah, but again, we've done 60 something.
happened?
I'd say about 90 to 95% of them are good. So we're allowed some whiffs here and there,
Hold on.
right? It wasn't so bad. Or the ones before that aren't so bad. That one was pretty bad, but
No,
we're going to make
I
up for it.
disagree.
We're going to make up for it. So, yes. So yeah, I'm joined by everyone. So it's me, Kim Moyer, Tyson's here. And the man from down under, Adam.
It's me, Kid Moya.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
It's like Adam's like the inverse Kid More.
I'm mega
Yeah, he really is. You know what's really funny? I started watching a lot of dumb DC cartoon garbage on HBO Max, and there's a bad guy in the DC universe that's just a complete Australian
Mr.
caricature.
Negative. Oh wait, no.
No, he just throws boomerangs, and he's called like Australia. It's like ridiculous, and every word that comes out of his mouth is just an Australian stereotype.
Yeah, can.
So, it's that.
I boomed you. You got boomed. He boomed me. Fuck, that guy boomed me.
Yeah, it's
Fucking
a lot of
glass you outside Walmart, cunt.
Yeah, he says stuff like that. He doesn't say the C word quite, but
Boy, I'm gonna pull a 9/11 can.
I don't think he says that. I don't think he says that, especially since that's not what Australians did. But they still fought in the war afterwards, so it doesn't matter. So we got a lot to get going with today. But before I get moving, what's new with her? Adam, what's new with you? What have you been up to these days? It's been a week or two since it's been on.
Well, I don't know, it's being fucking boring, getting my life together.
Yeah.
You said the other day, oh, Adam, you're just normally masquerading as an internet fucking loser.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
in response to that, I want to say I was an internet loser, and now I've made positive decisions in my life.
I don't know. It seems like since I've known you, you've been a normal guy going out, living life.
A more apt description would be you're a normie loser pretending to be an internet loser.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was saying. Yeah. So something along those lines. But I'm glad your life is getting objectively better or is objectively better. So that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
That's kind of the inverse of my life.
Get away.
Tyson's decision making.
On a salary.
Yeah.
Dude, going on with my life, holy shit. I have started working a corporate finance job and I feel extremely suicidal right now.
Oh, dude.
I gave you some warnings about the specific work that you're going into. It's not cut out for you, and I can't wait to see how it all ends. It's a terrible
for those
movie.
Of you who don't know, Moore's like advice was, why don't I just work a fucking a job at McDonald's and flip burgers? Like, that's not real advice, okay? Like, I'm not doing that.
You would probably enjoy that.
You would be happier making less money doing that than what you're doing right now. I guarantee it.
Tyson, that's all I want to say is this is what you get for selling your link. It was written, and this is the consequences for your actions.
Ugh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's never bring that up ever again.
All right, how you been?
I'm off.
I'm used to my own downward spirals.
Okay.
Proportionally, I've been fine.
Yeah. Seems like you've been getting some things together as well, making some.
Not
some
really.
big
I mean,
changes.
honestly, I'm crying on the inside, but like.
Okay.
It's you become acclimated to your own pain, and eventually that becomes a normal. So like, sometimes I'll be like walking, and I'll find like a pound on the ground, and I'll pick it up, and I'll be like, "Hey, today's not so
bad." What a stupid name for a currency.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off.
Wait, what?
Like orders.
We're dollar chads. We're all dollar chads here.
No, you're
I was gonna say, isn't an odd just a dollar, right? Isn't that just dollars?
Yeah, New Zealand's dollar as well.
Okay.
It's like pound fuck versus dollar.
Britoids be like, "Oi, bruv, I have a quid."
It's not 8. Fuck off. You know what? 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 No, I'm not even gonna say it. There you go.
Wait, so that got me thinking because Canada uses
That's a
dollars.
first.
Mexico borders us. They use pesos. Does anyone else use pesos, or is it just Mexico? You think with all the sapping Mexico does off of us,
No,
they would just be
Chile.
dollars
Chile.
as well?
Chile uses Chile uses pesos.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're right.
Chilean
You
peso. Yeah.
you are internationally acclimated. You're probably the most cultured guy probably on this podcast, Adam.
I've probably done more
Unfortunately,
travel. I've probably done more
yeah.
traveling than everyone. So
Yeah. So, all right. I
Uh-huh.
trust your expertise on that one. I definitely trust your expertise. So, actually, we do have a international global incident that I've gathered you all here today to discuss. And I'm interested on your outlooks because some of you are politically motivated, some of you aren't. But it seems like for the first time in my great nation's history, a president is set to be arrested and
let's go.
indicted for
Let's fucking go.
charges. So
Nothing burger.
I
Complete
have a
nothing
lot to
burger.
say about this. So Tyson thinks there's nothing to say about this. So Tyson, you go first. What are your thoughts on this? Initial reaction.
Actually, my thoughts about it actually are what you said about it a couple
Mhm.
episodes ago.
Mhm.
The only reason that they're pursuing this indictment of Trump is because his name is literally Donald Trump. If he was like literally any other guy, they wouldn't do this at all. And
Mm.
what even were like the laws that he broke? He took some of his own money to pay hush money to some porn star. Like that's not illegal. But who
I think
cares?
it
Mm.
is. Isn't that illegal?
I don't know because it's a porn
The way
star.
I understood it is that he uses campaign finance money to pay Stormy Daniels, and then he used his own money to top it up after he was done. Like he just pulled money from an account and then replaced it with his own money
Oh, was
afterwards.
that
Like
the one? Because
He's
I
paying off
know in
someone who
America.
can he
Wait.
consensually engaged with,
Wait,
as
wait,
opposed
fellas,
to molesting a child on an aeroplane on an island.
yep,
fellas.
exactly.
Well, I guess the only question I have there is if you use campaign finance money in America, right? When you run for president, either you get a shitload of money from the government and then you can't raise any more money, or you can say, no, I have them on my side, and you can raise as much money as you'd like. I
Speaking from
wonder if
experience,
Mm.
Yes, I do. I wonder if he took the big check from the government as opposed to fundraising from the
What
wider
check
base.
from the government? Why would he get a check from the
Yeah.
government?
That's
What's
Why would
how it
that?
he?
works in America. When
Mhm.
you run for president, and if I forget the qualifier, but he definitely would have qualified. The
Yeah.
FEC funds will fund your campaign.
Are you
Really? That's
sure?
so
I don't think
interesting.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
I
I know
don't
this
care
for
if
a
that's
fact.
right or wrong. I don't care about fact checking that. I'll take your word for it. So,
I know
yeah,
this.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, it's called for the sake of conversation. You just listen to what people are saying instead of being like source. What do you mean?
yeah.
Oh. So yeah, no, that's quite the point.
Alright,
That's quite the
good.
point.
No,
So
so I was wondering if he used FEC money. That's probably what's the. I don't know, but if that might be super illegal using FEC
You know,
money to pay
Mhm.
for
there's a
porn
really
stars.
close example to our lives. Actually, this is exactly like the same situation when I took our podcast money, gambled it on a shit coin, lost it all, and then replaced it with my own money. Like in the end, it's the same. It's the same money. It's still
You
there.
guys didn't
So
are
know
you
that.
talking about the time where you incorrectly gave money to a fake account that was posing as someone that won a sweepstakes that we had, or this
no,
was
that's when I
this
bought
is a different incident?
a bored ape scam coin.
Okay.
no. I think Moya's talking about the
1,000
time when
pardons.
I think Moya's talking about the time when like we did a giveaway, and you gave it away to a to
Yeah,
some
but that
wrong
scammer
person.
earned it. He changed his name quickly to the person who won and messaged Tyson, and he
Dude, it
fell
was
for it.
under
That guy,
I
it
can't
was
believe that
under
worked.
30 seconds, the entire scam. So that dude, you earned it, dude. Holy shit.
I think there were more scammers watching that sweepstakes than people who actually entered it. So,
Yeah.
give him credit.
From one street
You know,
shooter to the
I
next.
really like
I
that.
salute
I
you.
like
Yeah.
that giveaway because like we post it out, and all of a sudden we get an influx of brand new viewers who are seemingly old viewers
Yeah, and they're like, my
listing
favorite
of their
part is
favorite moments.
when Moyer said that thing that happened in the first 30 seconds of an
Yeah, but
episode.
then
Yeah.
no, but it gets better than that because like they get the names wrong with these stories. Like I think Moya was telling a story about when he was in like the gym changing rooms, like a bunch of naked old people,
Yes.
and then some guy on Twitter is like, "Oh, I liked it when Ari was telling the story."
All right, not to dwell too much on our failures as a podcast.
No, I remember because you had a breakdown of that.
Well, I don't want to see like a wrinkly little dude's dick or whatever that was.
No. You had a breakdown over him thinking it was my story.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't have you getting. Yeah, you can't get credit for me being articulate and speaking well. Meanwhile, you just drone on constantly. But I don't want to get too meta.
Anunnaki.
Yeah, I'll avoid getting too meta. Let's stay substantive, however you would say that, with what's going on right now. So my big issue is that I have a really hard time feeling bad for Trump in this instance because A, his wife already knew that he was cheating on him, and B, I don't think his base cared that he was hooking up with his porn star. It's part of Trump's machismo bravado, kind of, oh, look at him. Wow, he's just like me for real, kind of, masculine appeal. So who exactly was he hiding this from? I don't understand what the point of even hiding this was. I mean,
Maybe
based
at
his
that point,
based
maybe at
Latina
that point,
trad
Melania
life.
didn't know.
What was that,
Maybe at that
Tyson?
point, his wife didn't know that he was cheating. That could be
Melania,
why.
he's been cheating on Melania for decades and
Forever.
decades. Yeah, since however
forever.
long they've been married
And you know
for.
what?
It's
That's
no
a good
secret
thing.
to her.
So
And this is why
Yeah,
it's a good
that's
thing.
great, Tyson. But what I'm trying to say is, why was he trying to hide this? And then he spends $100,000 trying to hide it, and it's not even hidden at all. She comes out and breaks the NDA anyways. So he just paid for nothing. He ruined himself for nothing. I think he's kind of an
No.
idiot in this instance.
But didn't she lose the court case and have to pay him?
I have no idea what ended
I
up
think
happening
well, I
with that.
mean,
So she
if
ended
you
up
think
breaking
about
the
it,
NDA. She ended up
if you
breaking
think
the
about it,
NDA.
like Stormy Daniels did have sex with Trump, so it's like I guess he wanted to prevent her from speaking about the encounter and like saying that he had a small dick or whatever.
Yeah, but what does he do
but
that
then
with
he'd be
every
even more
girl he
relatable.
sleeps with? Yeah.
It'd be even more relatable if she said that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good presidential tactic. It's like it's the I'd like to have a beer with him. He seems like someone I could have beer. He seems like he has a small dick like me. And so that's true. Actually, I can get on board. A president I can believe in. So yeah, it just I'm not sure where it's going to go from here, but they're not going to find a jury. They're going to jury shop this. There's no way you can have an unbiased jury looking at this case or a judge for that instance. I think it's going to have a really hard time getting traction. And I think that the case itself is built on such a shaky foundation. It just seems like it's a career reach for this DA that's pushing
Well,
this.
what
know,
I find,
you know
what I
what's like
find,
the funniest scenario? It's like if Trump is indicted and he gets arrested and then he wins the election, if he wins the election, the Secret Service is required to protect him. So if he gets arrested, he still has to go to jail, which means when he goes to prison, he'll be accompanied by like 15 Secret Service agents, like a prison gang.
I think they have to watch him anyways. Every president in our country has a detail for the rest of their lives, so he'll have one anyways, even if he gets orange jumpsuited. What were you gonna say, Adam?
I find it really interesting how the fucking DA in Australia, for example, the DA is not a political position. It's just like a good lawyer for the government. Whereas it's like, oh, I'm a Democratic DA. I'm gonna get Trump. It's like, dude, like, isn't that like a massive conflict of fucking interest?
It's supposed to be an unbiased position, and that was something that we relitigated over and over when Eric Holder was Obama's DA, and he said, "I want to be a wing of the Obama administration." It's like you can't really say that, but no one cared. And then when Trump picked his DAs, which was that Keebler Elf looking guy, and then some other dickhead, everyone was like, "Oh, they're just acolytes of the Trump estate," and now they all of a sudden care about it. So whatever. And now we have who's the guy that's the DA now, or the in the
Clarence Thomas.
Hank Schrader.
no, it's the guy who was
My name is
spurned.
Isaac Schrader.
He was spurned for the judicial for the high justice.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know.
This is gonna really bother me if I can't figure this out. Hold on a second. What's that position even called in America?
Supreme Court Justice.
No, the guy who's like the DA, the head DA.
The DA. Oh, the
DA got the dough.
In Australia, it's called the Solicitor General or the Attorney General. I don't know what it is in America.
I keep wanting to say Ryan Priebus, but it's not. Oh, here it is. I found it. No, it's not Anthony J. Blinken. I'll just have to
drop.
Yeah, absolutely drop. But I'll have to get past that. So, anyways, I don't think anything's going to come of it. So, I don't know if anyone's got any further commentary on that. But the bottom line is, don't have sex with porn stars and then pay them hush money. Just have sex with them and own up to it. Just own up to it. Maybe just say, hey, don't tell anyone. And then if they tell someone, then he seemed to play any other mistake he's ever made in his favor. That's why they call him the Teflon Don. So
maybe the hush money was the idea of your boy Bannon's. Yeah, maybe.
No,
Bannon's one of the smartest political strategists ever to walk this earth, and that's a fucking hill up. Even though he's, as we were discussing before the show, a bit of a height cuck, sure. But as we also discussed, height directly translates, lack of height directly translates into big of brain.
That's what we were saying. Yeah, the shorter you are, the smarter you are, right? And the taller you are, the dumber you are, right? Is that true?
The founding fathers like really fucking tall.
No, George Washington was abnormally tall for his day and age. But
no, every single president ever has been over 6 foot.
Okay.
Makes you think. Really
sounds
makes
like
you
Pope
think.
to me.
Really makes you think. Wasn't
You know what's weird? If I realized I was reading through history, and it turns out like everyone in history was like a manlet. And that if we were teleported back in time, we would be like pretty tall by their standards.
Yeah, because we eat more, dude. We have more to eat now. We grow more.
It's not that.
We eat more.
It's not the fuck are you on a... No, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. We have better nutrition nowadays, and like
That's
we eat
what
more
I
protein.
mean.
No, but it's not just that. It's
Do we
because
have
of
better nutrition?
Yeah,
no,
really?
it's because no,
100%.
hold on. Shut the fuck up. Okay, all right. Let me. Okay.
Australian isn't a pejorative term, Ari, so you can say
listen,
it.
stop. Okay, so endocrine disruption, along with like.
Oh no.
Okay,
no, I'm fine with this. Go ahead.
Go on then.
No, let Ari go. All right, go ahead.
It's a real thing.
What is?
Endocrine disruptors and like hormones in food and stuff.
Okay.
Whether the what?
Sexual right in the water.
What were you gonna say?
I would be
Tyson?
honest. I would prefer a Anunnaki explanation for why people got shorter, as opposed to this one.
Well, Ari was offering an actual like biological or whatever observational
better
reason
nutrition.
for
Just
this.
leave it at that. But you
okay.
That's what I
but
meant.
you're very neurotic about your diet, so I do kind of take what you say seriously because you've done your homework. But I also saw you live exclusively on just vodka for an entire day, so that kind of drew into question
and that is not based somehow.
I know. I couldn't pull that off. I guess his body's in such great shape he can pull that off. So, and when I say vodka, I mean exclusively. He had nothing else in his drink but that. So
really?
I give him credit. Yeah.
Damn, actually, that's respect, Ari. That's
rocks or
some
just
good shit.
Straight?
Yeah, it was on the rocks. My dude was going all out. He was living
You
it
wouldn't even
up,
like chasing it with anything else. Damn.
No.
Maybe water. Maybe he's chasing it with water. So that was about it.
It wasn't.
But
my reasoning was because I wanted to avoid sugar for my skin.
There you go.
And my skin broke out anyway. So,
Ari, when I'm there with you, you better pull up the same manner, okay? I don't want to.
All right.
This man, I would have lost his life that night if I were not there to escort him to his building. Okay. So no, you do not want him acting that way. You do not want him acting that way. We were having fun. Let's just keep it at that. But since you guys brought up food and nutrition, by the way, that guy's name was Merrick Garland. Obama tried to appoint him to be a Supreme Court justice, and he was spurned by Republicans, and he's beat him bitter prick ever since then and proved why he didn't get the position. So he's a fucking loser. I hate that bum. But anyways, what I was thinking about, and it really bothers me, and maybe I want to see if my fellow men feel this same way. And I really am not trying to sound like a trad larper, but sometimes I can't help it. If I am to get married someday, I think whoever I date or marry has to do all the food shopping for me, because food shopping is the most emasculating female chore I've ever had to do in my entire life, and I avoid it at all turns. There is nothing more emasculating than being a man with a shopping cart hunched over,
No.
walking to the frozen food aisle and picking up cheeses and looking at. And you know what's even more pathetic? When I see couples food shopping together. You're such a fucking loser. You need to
No,
go pick
no.
out your
You're
food
you're you're
with
so
who you're.
bitter and you're
You know what?
coping.
You know what it is? It's
Those
like
no, those little things, those little experiences are what matter.
There are so many things you could be doing to give you better human experience than walking around a female led building
All
like
right,
a
Moya, why don't
shop,
you use
like a
Amazon Prime
grocery
here's a
store.
particular thought I had. I feel like it's emasculating because you're pushing the shopping cart. I feel like if you were pulling it, it would be more like manly. Don't you think? Imagine if you were pulling the cart instead.
What?
like the cover of what's that Ayn Rand book where he's like
Yeah,
holding
yeah,
up the globe, you know what I mean?
No. You're
Atlas
doing it wrong.
shrugged. No,
Yeah.
okay.
No, you're doing
No,
it wrong. What?
Tyson, if you hold the cart from under you and hold it up in the air above your head, that is a masculine way to go food shopping. So
Tyson's just why don't you just deadlift it at that point?
sure, I
No,
don't know.
I said pull it like you're an ox and you're pulling a cart along. You know, that would
Road to
feel
s-
fucking cool.
Road to Serfdom grocery shopping edition. What were
Well,
you
why
gonna
don't you
say?
bring a rope with you and just become like the horse to the cart or something?
Yeah, I kind of like. I kind of like where we're going with
you wanna
this.
feel masculine doing this? Fine. Put your wife or your girlfriend in the cart, and
I don't
then
know.
you become the horse.
I just don't
I
know
would
why
like
it
that,
bothers
actually.
me because I'm not manly by objective standards. In fact, I'm quite feminine in a lot of regards, which I don't mind. But when it comes to food shopping, I feel like a little bitch whenever I go food shopping. I'll just say I think it's the gayest shit you could do. It really does
No.
feel like
Okay,
that.
here's what you need to do, okay? You need to embrace the inner child in you, the boy inside you, and you need to make visceral, loud car noises as you're pushing the trolley. You make direct eye contact with every cute girl you see in the shopping center, wherever the fuck you are, and
No,
just make a noise and go,
I think the
and
card
then you have
itself
to
is
drift it around
emasculating.
every corner.
See,
Mm.
I use the hand thing. I don't even get enough to use the shopping cart because I think the shopping cart
The
itself
basket?
is. Yeah, I'm a basket boy. So, because maybe it
Yeah.
makes you feel
Yeah,
like
it's like
a fife, like a forager,
Basket
you
boy
know?
yeah,
America.
it's like if you're pushing it, your hands are like up like around your chest area. It's like you're clutching your chest. You're protective. You know, it's like kind of a bitch thing to do. But imagine if your hands were, if you could somehow push the cart, but your hands were down at your knees.
One of the best memories I've
Does that
had
make
in
sense?
recent times was actually going to a shopping center like 10 minutes before it closes, not taking a trolley or a basket, literally just carrying it like a baby because you're so desperate and you're like, time is of the essence. And just like running around the store, just like collecting everything you can and carrying it around like a baby, trying to balance it all in one go, and then like trying to
Or
navigate to the
like a
self checkout.
cartoon
And
character where it's like tipping back and forth as you're like running
yeah,
side to side to keep it up in
yeah.
the air. Yeah. I don't know. There just really needs to be something done about the synergy and layout and consumer habits of shopping because it feels very feminine to me. And I feel like that used to be an old school thing where the husband went to work and then the wife went grocery shopping during the day. I think I think it ties into the nuclear
Yeah, but
family that
Moy,
men
Moy,
shouldn't be food shopping.
you know what this
Mhm.
ties in? Do you know,
Well, no,
you
you
can't
say
even.
all this, but then
Go,
very
go
historically, men were the ones that were foragers and hunter gatherers. So like, surely it's the most masculine thing
Yeah,
you
but
can
they
do
didn't
in
That's
your
have like a
life.
fucking like bitch cart to when they
Yeah,
were
and
getting
then
buried
Kelly
and shit.
Clarkson playing in the background and a bunch of like
Yeah,
overweight
yeah.
middle-aged women all around. What were you gonna say, Adam?
Oh, all I was gonna say is that this is all hypothetical and for moot because to get to this point, you need to get a wife, and we know that doesn't really happen. So
Or husband?
yeah, oh no, no,
Well,
no.
There's still a
But
bottom and a
to
top for that
segue,
one.
actually,
So
to segue on from that earlier Stormy Daniels discussion and that husband discussion, I have a
Mhm.
question for you all.
Okay.
Gay son or thought daughter?
Thought daughter easily, without a doubt.
I don't
Um,
know.
And
there's
I have something else to add to this.
And you know she does explicit OnlyFans.
I don't know, dude. That's tough.
I'm going
okay,
with
but
daughter no
is
matter
my
what.
gay son good looking or does he have a twink face?
Yeah,
Wait, that's the same
He's
thing,
getting.
can
Moya?
I make my gay son the top? Can he be like the Chad
Mhm.
top, or is he like
Mhm.
a bottom?
Oh, he's a bottom. He's a
Oh
bottom.
my god,
You
that's
sound like a doctor giving bad news.
Yeah,
I'm
it is
sorry,
bad news.
sir, but your
It
I'm
is
son's
sorry
bad
to
that's
bad.
2
say,
L's on
sir,
each
but your
side.
son's a
That's double
bottom.
L.
Yeah, it is bad fucking news. I'm not gonna
I,
lie.
I'd still go with the thought daughter. You
Yeah.
know, at least they'll
Yeah.
eventually marry some guy and fall out of that phase. When you,
Yeah,
yeah,
women
Dude, I
have
can kinda manage it if if my gay son was, like, just, like, running through all these guys, like, being a Chad, but then if he's just, like, the one getting railed, I'm like, "Oh, "Okay, I don't wanna do
son
that."
isn't even that bad. You know what's worse than a gay son?
hmm.
Uh-huh.
An incel son.
Mm, uh, that's
Yes, you know
Gay
actually
it's true.
incel son.
that's a better question. I would think gay son or
Do you want a
incel
virgin
son.
son or a thought daughter,
Oh, I'd
babe?
rather a
Mm.
gay son, dude. I don't want my son shooting up a school. I don't need that bad rap.
No one said anything about shooting up a school. You know, you wanna know statistics? Something like 60 to like 80% of men today between the ages of 16, I think it's 16 or 18 to 49 are single virgins. Do you know that?
It's like,
Really?
"Hey
Yeah.
hey, Junior, your backpack's looking a bit large today for one day at school. Are you good?"
Well, actually, it's not exclusive to just cis men, it's trans men too nowadays, so school
I
shooters come in all shapes and sizes. We don't
so
discriminate.
I so the thing I don't get is that statistic because sometimes I'll look at a guy and I'll think, "That guy is really ugly. How does that guy have sex?" And they do. They find a way. If I were a girl, I wouldn't even look twice at half these guys that have sex, but they do, and then they have sex with them. That's what's mind-blowing to me. I don't get what they're doing, but eventually, I guess eventually
They
you wear them
probably
down or in the right place, right time, or they just talk to them. I don't know. Good
yeah, or they
thing.
fucking maxed out their charisma, right?
I don't know. I don't think it's an
Or
RPG
there's
like
money
that.
involved or
But I would say if I were a girl, 90% of the guys I see walking around would be automatically disqualified. Like most guys, especially in
okay,
America,
so
have a belly. They have a fat stomach.
so
Most
there
of them.
there is a sharp discrepancy between previous generations of women that grew up pre-internet and Zoomer generations that did,
Hmm.
when it comes to sexual dynamics and the way men and women kind of interact in that sense. Um, I don't really want to turn this into that kind of podcast, but
Okay.
it's objectively true that like men and women nowadays of the Zoomer generation um, have some objective psychological differences to older generations because of the acclimation to in
Social media?
to 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 um to socializing online
Hmm.
and um like how people are reaffirmed and validated. Like nowadays, like a like says more to someone than like someone literally just saying to your face, "I think you're a cool person." That makes sense.
You are a cool person.
Yeah,
People
I
will
see
feel
that.
sick
Hmm.
if they were to delete all social media on their phone. Like,
You guys do know the originator of that feeling. And I remember when it first came out, people would describe it as Christmas morning whenever they would get one, was your notifications on MySpace. The way they showed your notifications on MySpace made you feel so good when you got them. I think it honestly carried in as like a social psychological study into the best way to notify you of the attention that you're getting because it changed a whole generation being able to see your inbox on MySpace. It really,
yeah,
really did.
they do
So
actually put a
you
lot of
guys will
thought
never
into
get
that.
that feeling. You guys will never
Actually, hold on.
understand
I
that.
I
I think we have an equivalent feeling.
Uh,
Ari and Adam, I think you guys can relate to this. I think our generation's MySpace thing that Maury just described is getting the 11th like on Instagram. You guys
Yes.
don't you guys know what that
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
what is
I know
that?
exactly what you're talking about.
Because in Instagram, up to 10 people can like it, and then they'll display the individual names of who liked it. But then once you hit the 11th like, it becomes a number like, oh, only 11 people have liked it. So it's like, oh, it becomes like, oh, not like a list of names, but like a number of people, you
Yeah,
know.
it's a
So
group. It's a group as
so
Mm,
opposed to
I have
individual.
something
okay.
funny about that. So I was never that into Instagram, but back in the Facebook days when that was still popping in my generation, this is a little known fact about me, some lore. I used to run like a shit posting schizo autistic meme page,
You
and I had
still
like
do.
I had like no, I had over I had like I think I peaked at like 65,000 followers on that, and
What?
the
Okay.
notifications on that would because it's on Facebook, the notifications on your page would blend into your general notifications for your profile, so it would
Oh.
look like I was chatting out when really it was just like there were thousands of likes and like comments and messages and all that, but they weren't coming for me. They were coming from my page.
Mm, mm.
So, but that still
So
felt good.
So, speaking of men, women, and social media dynamics, there was some hot news that hit the air. So, we got another live reaction. We had some time for the Trump one to simmer over for a
Wait,
day, but
is
this
there
just
more?
happened about a half hour ago, I think, probably
Holy
sooner than
shit.
that for people who are well aware. But it seems like Tyson's favorite man, the Tater Tot,
Yeah,
Andrew Tate, is out
house
of,
arrest.
yeah, he's out of prison
Let's
on house
fucking
arrest.
go. Holy shit.
Okay.
A king reclaims his throne.
Oh my gosh. That's
Let's
your
fucking
reaction,
go.
Tyson?
Yep.
You
I
too,
I hope
Adam?
I hope he maxes out whatever connections he has. He gets like some fucking like Middle Eastern like Muslim like hit assassin squad to like pull him out of his house arrest and then give him like
Muslim?
gold
Why are
lives
they
in Dubai.
Muslim?
I don't know. He's gonna get like Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins to go kill authorities or something.
Put them in a
Yeah,
Because
they're gonna
suitcase
kill
like
the
that
security
Khashoggi
guard
guy.
standing outside his house. Let's go.
yeah. So the problem that these people have now is I think he's under house arrest, and I don't know if he's allowed to use social media or not, but they just made him infinitely more insufferable than like the amount of annoyance that he will cause on the internet now will power a neutron star. And at this point, I can't wait to see it. I really, really can't wait to see it because he's probably been storing that up the whole time that he was in prison. And as I said, I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of his
Yeah, me
message. I
neither,
think I think
honestly.
he's inconsistent. I think it's a persona. I think people take him too seriously, and I don't think he takes himself that seriously. But the way he was held and detained made no sense, and I think it was a violation of actually human rights. Really, I think it was a violation. I
Since
don't.
when did you care about human rights,
I
dude?
know, but whatever. I just gotta call him out at some point when I see him. It's just say if you're not even on trial for something and they're still looking for evidence to hold against you, but keeping you somewhere for 3 or 4 months in
Yep.
what amounts to
It's called
isolation,
Romania,
that's a
dude.
problem.
It's
Yeah,
called
I guess you're
Romania.
right.
Three
Yeah.
months
The
in
best thing he
solitary
ever did
and not even
was
being charged with a crime. How insane is that? Holy shit.
Yeah. I think that's a problem. But what were you gonna say?
the best thing he did was highlight the divide and conquer tactics being used by the elites and why that's pointless to put so much thought and energy into.
I
I
don't
mean,
quite get you
that
mean,
being
but
said, he
are you giving some play at like the Matrix, or are you like a take guy in
no,
disguise? What are you trying to
no, no,
say
no,
right
no,
now?
no. Well, Andrew's like he had like some message. He was like, oh, and I don't agree with this necessarily, but he was like, oh, above all else, you should just focus on like making money. Like, don't
True.
dabble in
Very true.
any other thing going on in the world. Like, it's just a waste of your time and energy. Like, I agree with that message, just not with the money thing.
No, dude, Andrew
Okay.
Tate's a fucking loser, dude.
I mean, come on,
Okay,
like you
well,
see,
he's
no,
wrong.
everyone's aware of the fact that the media is trying to divide and somewhat conquer the minds of people in different ways.
You know what
I
I was
don't
surprised?
think it's a good
Yeah.
thing.
I was surprised by, so for instance, I listened to some random podcast that had Tucker Carlson on, and he talked about how great Andrew Tate was, and he was kind of not enamored, but he just thinks he's a really smart guy, and what they're doing to him, is indicative of this larger, like a larger, I guess, security media complex that they're trying to keep a grip on. But I think people are turning him into a bit too much of a folk figure when they speak
Yeah,
like
he's
that,
not a
and
god, dude.
I'm just surprised people are so ready to
No one's
latch
treating him
on to
like a
him.
god, dumbass. It's just that he's really fucking funny. He's someone that
Mhm.
you'd want to hang out with, and he's being imprisoned wrongly. So that's all it is for me.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that mainstream figures on the right will latch onto him really quickly, knowing that there probably is a pretty well, knowing or not knowing that he made his fortune by being a pimp and being a sexual exploiter. That is true. There's no
Yeah,
denying that.
like
So
his
I can't really
successes.
be on someone like that's team. But go ahead,
Success
I.
is founded in immorality. But I think the more important thing here is that a lot of his followers kind of just run on cope.
Well, they're like
Okay.
12, so I wouldn't look too deeply
Nah,
into it.
there
They're
are no.
12 and Tyson, who has the
I think the whole 12-year-old thing is that's an argument like just beaten to death at this point.
No, but it's
There are
true.
lots of like older men that look up to him. But
You're
again,
right. You're right,
it's all
I.
running on
Mhm.
cope, and I think so. Here's the thing, right? I'm not speaking for everyone, but a lot of men nowadays, all like everything they do and think about revolves around trying to get and attract women,
That
right?
is so
And
true.
Andrew Tate kind of breaks down women and
Base.
also feeds these men cope and stuff.
But
I'm really trying to not say something like bad
are
here, but like I
I
Nothing
don't.
based. Nothing too based.
it's the manosphere formula basically. It used
Right,
to
but
come in the form of
what I was gonna say is, you no matter what the fuck anyone says, right? The fact of the matter is that women are the choosers. So
It's
this
true.
is
It's
all
true.
cope, and like I was trying to transition into this kind of thing. So like men nowadays are obsessed with being turbo masculine when they're
Mhm.
not.
Yes.
They should just unironically be themselves, even if
I
it's
think you're right.
feminine
I
in
think people
nature.
who try to be masculine, you notice it. When
Yes, and
when
it's
men
just
try to be something other, yeah, I
yes, and
understand
like
that.
you
But
see it in like
if
boomers as
someone
well.
like adopts mentality that just like betters them for themselves, like gets really fit
No,
or
it's all
makes
again,
more money,
it's all cope.
is that cope for them? If to like want to earn more money?
Want and actually doing are two different things.
That's just called being a human being and wanting to increase your net worth. This isn't something you should need Andrew Tate to tell you. I'm talking
Right.
about guys who start wearing leather jackets and smoke cigars and going, "Shut up, woman."
And like trad
And like
marking.
that's
How
not who
many
they were a
of these
week or two
guys do you
ago.
think are fucking walking around? You guys make it seem like there's like they're like 30% of the population or something.
You know what it is? A
More
lot of
than
men,
you think.
a lot of his followers are just coping hard about not being able to attract a woman.
It's possible, but I think you could say that about any manosphere
Yeah.
messiah
You can,
figure over
you can. They're no
history.
better. They're no better.
Yeah, because before him
I've
it was
said this
someone else, and
before.
before that,
I've said this
yeah.
before, but the reason I like Andrew Tate is because he represents the old ways. So
Oh,
you
no,
have
he
all these.
doesn't.
Hold on, let me finish. You have all these fucking losers on Twitter, like Bronze Age perverts, saying, "Oh, you must drink raw eggs, you must like walk barefoot and all that shit." And then he's going back to 2016, the good old times, and saying, "Yeah, I drive sports cars. Feminists are fucking retarded. What else do you need? You know?"
He says a bit more than that, but
No,
okay.
there's
No,
a bit more.
I
There's more
yeah,
going
but
on.
I
I
think
would choose him over like Bronze
holistically,
Age pervert losers any day of the week. I'll tell
yeah,
you
I
that.
think holistically, the what Tyson's saying, he does kind of project that if you look at it very broadly. Also, the thing that I think is really funny about Andrew Tate is there's a super old video of him talking about crypto, and his calls are right on every single one. He's
Yeah,
like
and he's
talking
right
about
as well.
chain link at 40 cents, and he's like, but the funny thing about the videos is that he's talking like a normal person. He's like, oh yeah, I think I like that one. It's like nice, it's like refreshing to just see him communicating normally instead of gearing up his persona, and lighting up a cigar before he can talk. So I don't want to. I don't want to spend too much time on him. I just thought it was interesting that he was released, and I thought it was unjust that he was detained. But I'm still not a fan of
Okay,
him
I want to
overall.
ask Tyson this. Tyson,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
do you think men peak at 35 to whatever, 60 or whatever the fuck?
Uh Depends. Like, what do you mean? Like, peak socially, physically, or what?
There's that old saying that
Financially.
like men peak at 35 or 65, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big
And a
difference.
lot of Andrew Tate's followers push this, so like, oh,
I feel like a lot of
women
people
hit the
do
wall at
peak.
30, and men fucking go on to
That's
become
true though.
kings when they're 30.
It is kind of true, though.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
that
Okay,
is
I
true.
strongly disagree with that.
The
Mm-hmm.
wall
Look,
exists.
Youth is
look. I'll
invaluable.
put it this way: someone who has been actively working on themselves, they will peak. They
S-
can peak
Okay,
anytime they fucking want, right? But
there.
someone who doesn't do shit,
Okay,
they'll peak this. They'll hit the wall same as women. So
this idea of peaking is again like the idea that women will finally choose you, right? If we okay, let me just break it down, okay? If women don't choose you at the age of 18 to like 23 or whatever, you being 35 and a millionaire doesn't mean shit. That's that's what I wish I could tell all
I
of his
think
That
that's
followers.
is
a
not
really
true.
good point because just being wealthy doesn't mean a woman will ever respect you.
For one,
It's
your
for
Yeah,
who
youth
yeah.
is
you are.
invaluable.
She
Two,
might not
your
respect you,
actual
but she'll
social
still fuck
development
you.
skills,
That's,
like
you
your
know.
sincere social development skills, are invaluable. And three, yes, beauty, your own beauty. And let me just say this, okay? Men do age better than women, but you still hit the wall, okay? Men do hit the wall, and you are objectively the most beautiful in those younger years, okay? I don't know where this cope came from. Like, men can have beer bellies at the age of 65, and like, I,
I
I,
don't know what you're
I
saying with
just,
that one.
I
Yeah,
don't want.
you're kind of losing me. I
You
admit
know
it.
which
Yeah,
one
I
I
don't know.
thought was
It's fine.
interesting, and someone told me this. I think it was a mom who was trying to hit on me when I was lifeguarding when I was younger. But she would talk about how men hit their sexual peaks. I don't think it's their sexual peaks, but they're the most sexually driven and interested when they're 17, 18, and women that doesn't hit until they're 38 or 39. And I thought that was
Mm.
interesting, and I
That's
think
nice.
it's
But like,
She was
totally
definitely
true.
trying to fuck you.
who the
She was
fuck wants a
Yeah,
definitely trying to.
38-year-old woman when you're like young and stuff like that? Like,
I'm not
I
saying
did.
first off,
I
that's
know.
literally not what I said at all. That has nothing to do with what I just said. I'm just saying that women are more sexually active when they're 38 or 39, but men seek it
I'm
out
not.
when they're younger. You know what I mean? It's less
Yeah, yeah,
likely
yeah.
that a girl who's 18, 19 wants to be. Look, I get that they're sexually active, but when they're 38,
Yeah.
39, that's when they're like really, really trying to get on it. Really
Yeah,
trying to get
and
on
it's
it.
like
So
it's not even a fucking discussion about incels and all that shit. Like, if you're an incel, it's a whole different story. But the main fucking point is that when women are younger, like 18 to 25, they are the selectors of sex, and then once men hit that 35 zone and women hit that 35 zone, the power dynamic shifts back to men because the women want to lock down someone for marriage, and then the men are the selectors for that. So it's like,
Yeah,
that's
no, but you
actually a
need to
good
be.
point, Tyson.
No, but
And then
Tyson,
and
what you're
then
missing
what?
out.
They
No, no,
want
no, 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 no. You're
then
Go
missing
what?
out.
ahead,
They
You're missing
Adam.
want
out.
Go ahead, Adam.
Tyson, you also have to be in a position where being a selective for marriage, you need to be a worthy selection choice. Like, you
right.
can't. You need to have money,
okay,
have a good job. Like, have a deposit on a house or own a house. Like, that needs to exist. It's not just, oh
okay,
yeah, the pendulum swings back round. You've got to be in a position
It's not love though,
to
is it?
capitalize on that. Okay.
I
Mhm.
think the world should go back to a place where you're like 18 to like 23 or whatever. You find a girl 18 to 23. You sincerely fall in love. There's no like money
Uh,
and all of this other stupid shit isn't a factor. And then you work on your lives together and build together. That's
um, yeah, I think I don't think I have an issue with that.
I think that's a much better solution to all of this. Is to like
Mm,
build together with someone that you're in love with instead of like becoming like what? Just a bank account to a stupid dumb bitch that was raised on
yeah.
the internet. Like what? Again, and the other part of this is like, okay, so this is all like grounded in like women finally choosing you, and two, okay, so you're gonna go after young women, right? 18, whatever the fuck. That's what Andrew Tate's always pushing. Yeah, they're just gonna look at you as a bank account. They're not gonna fucking like you for you. You're probably going to be miserable when you're older.
Yeah, and they'll leave you.
Yeah,
Um,
and
sh-
Yeah, they'll leave you.
okay.
again. So the you okay? So these young women or whatever, right? They grow up and they're just like living life on recruit difficulty, supposedly. And what you come along and then you give them your entire bank account.
That's right. She loves me now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she loves me now, bros. And what you get to Kuma, and you finally get to be a Kuma because of course you're a Kuma, by the way, because you're a
And
young
let me
man
tell
and
you, just
you're
because you're rich
retarded.
doesn't mean she'll consistently have sex with you into old age. She'll
Yes,
probably get
exactly,
disgusted with you very quickly. Maybe you'll
exactly,
get to bang her a few
exactly,
times. But
exactly.
I don't want to
It's
get I
all
don't want to
crazy.
fall too deeply into the battle of the sexist thing, but actually there was something I wanted to bring up, and you can call me a sap, you can call me emotional, but I guess I just get myself into trouble when I'm watching dumb clips on Twitter. I saw at a wedding. Okay, so it was a clip that was on Twitter where a guy was getting married to a woman who had a 9-year-old girl that wasn't his. Okay, and he was making a promise to this 9-year-old girl that he would be the dad that she never had. And this 9-year-old girl was staring into his eyes, like crying because she was so happy that this man was coming into her and her mom's life to be a father figure for her and a husband for her mom. And for some reason, it's hard for me to talk about this because I would never want to do that in my entire life. I would never want to marry someone that has a kid. I don't think that's appropriate. I want my own kids, et cetera, et cetera. I think most guys feel that way as well. But for some reason, and this is me constantly at battle. I always play devil's advocate with myself because I'm obviously right leaning, and I try and challenge a lot of the right leaning or far right, or let's say traditional right leaning
Far
ideas that I
right.
see floating around. Um, for some reason, we have a huge aversion to supporting women with children that aren't ours, but we also, within the same breath, say that we don't have healthy families with father figures. So if there's a guy who's willing to step up and be that father figure for a kid that will most likely have a worse life without him, what's so wrong with that? I feel like that is actually a good thing if he can
Yeah, well,
Nothing
stomach it and
that
loves the
guy's not a
nothing
woman.
cuck,
wrong.
but he's
It's
just a
good for the
nice
kid,
person.
but it speaks more about the mother
Yep.
itself.
Yep.
Why's that?
Um, I mean, I can't
All
speak
right,
for every
collect
case,
your
but it may,
collect your thoughts,
like,
Tyson.
I know what I was gonna say. I
Also,
can't
Okay,
it's
speak.
like
yeah, go ahead,
it's like
Tyson.
it's like I've seen way too many stories of like a stepdad raises he's like a really good dad to a stepdaughter or stepson, and then once that kid turns 18, they because it's a step they get the option to meet their biological father, and then once they meet them, it's over.
You, it's over. Don't you feel like that's a little rare though? I feel like that's not the case. I think you just got
Dude,
that from movies.
I've seen it in real life, dude. Like this guy,
Really?
I know in real life he treated this girl so good as her stepdad, and then she meets her biological father when she turns 18, and then suddenly she's enamored with him, and she doesn't give a second thought. She takes the stepdad for granted, and it's like I would never put myself through that.
Because it's
Oh,
spiritual as well. That's not what I was
okay,
gonna get at.
Okay, so
okay.
I don't do that.
What do you mean, okay, okay? You don't
I
think there's a
thought,
spiritual connection between a child and her parents?
yeah, of course, there's a spiritual biological connection. But Tyson, I
I
thought you
just
were
don't want to
talking
be there
about
for that. Yeah.
Tyson. I thought you were telling the story about that came out recently, where a woman met her biological dad, then had sex with him, then had a kid with him, and then
Mm,
he ended up like killing her or something. It's a
No.
story, another story
Jesus.
I saw. But Adam, do you have any thoughts on this? I
All
heard you
I'm
say
saying
cuck, so
is,
I'm sure you have a
like,
great. Yeah, let's
he's
hear.
still a cuck, but he's a good person, and honestly, it's more important that you're a
But you're
good
a good
person.
cuck. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, that's my bottle. Um,
Okay, baby.
what?
Goo goo gaga. You have your bottle, you fucking
You
loser.
want apple
You don't have a
juice?
bottle of
Yeah,
water?
seriously. You like
I want
you
Napa.
sip out
Hold on. It's a
you
fucking
sip out
hydro
of a
flask.
bottle while he
Fucking
called it
hydro.
a bottle.
Well, I have a hydrophobic
Oh
metal
Fine.
man.
bottle. Yes.
This is the state of tap drinking Brita filter babies. It turns them into
Hold on. Are you
children
gonna
because
talk
they
about
won't use
tap water?
plastic.
Sorry, what country do you live in again?
You know
Their
what's
toys be
really
like, what?
yeah, they call it their papa.
What?
British men need their papa from their mum. It's ironic that I say that because I'm not allowed to. There was a citywide announcement that went out last week that there might have been I guess it would be called an infection or something, a dilution or something of the drinking water in my city, and we're not allowed to consume our tap water for 2 weeks. So, because there was a chemical
Don't
spill,
drink
but
top
just
Mm.
tap water.
yeah, you either got infected water, you got a school shooting. Just another week in America. It's no biggie. So never a dull moment, right? Never a dull moment. Contaminated. It was contaminated, is what they would say. But so
Yeah,
look,
the American cries out as he attacks you about your water.
Oh,
the manner in
God.
which you drink your water. But I just wanted to say I don't think it's such a bad thing that there are men out there that are willing to heal the cruel cycle of single parenthood and being a child with a singular parent. And if if that stepdad can be a better dad than
Hold
the
on, hold on.
biological dad ever could be, then
Do
and be
you,
looked up to by that kid,
If
I
there
think
was a
that's
way to like guarantee the bio dad is like never in the picture ever, then fine. But I doubt that they can do that.
I think
so.
there's different cases going on here. If the dad himself has his own kids, I could see what you're saying. But I've seen this as well in person where so a girl will get pregnant, dad leaves. What the? Speaking of dad leaving, what the fuck? Uh,
Adam had to leave and go to work. So go ahead.
okay.
Wake up, Wagey.
Um,
Yeah.
so
They're dropping like flies.
Keep this one.
Sorry, keep going on.
Yeah. So fuck. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, the dad leaves, and then um, girls are, oh shit, okay, I need to lock down another man, and she will drop her standards dramatically to
Okay.
find a guy who
Uh-huh.
hopefully has a lot of money, right? And will quote unquote fall in love with the guy. And this guy in question didn't really get much. He didn't really have it good with women, but all of a sudden, here's one that, you know, all of a sudden wants everything to do with him. Um,
Uh-huh.
this guy will come along and he'll quote unquote fall in love because
Can you
she
get to
loves
your
him so
point?
much
I'm so
now.
sick of you talking
Yeah,
like this.
that's
Can you get to your
insane.
point? Like, it's so annoying.
It's just the fuck.
Can I
Like,
have
what
like
are
a
you
2x speed button
saying?
I don't
on
think it's
Ari's mouth?
sincere. I don't think it's sincere. I think the girl is like taking advantage of a poor guy who's never really had it good with women,
Yeah,
and the
and that poor
guy
guy should
is
listen to
falling
fucking
for
Andrew
the.
Tate and dump that bitch for who she is. So
Come on,
Oh yeah,
Tyson.
and this is so much better when Tyson says shit like
I
this.
do like that a lot more
Fucking-
than like, well, when a guy meets a girl and
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
I drink my
guys, when
bottle.
when guys, when an Anunnaki meets a Heffalump, you know
It's like when
how it goes, you know.
it's like when parents talking about like where babies come from. It's like when a Nephilim loves a
Yeah.
Alpha Centaurian and they fall in love. So yeah, look, I'm just gonna say I think I had a bit of an epiphany when I saw this video, and maybe I won't call those guys cucks and losers anymore if they're willing to break a bond and maybe put back together and create their own nuclear family, and that's fine with that. And if they truly love the woman and they truly love the daughter or son, then more power to them. But I'll probably get torched for having that opinion. So it is what it is. But I'm just trying to not be so rigid and polarizing with my thought patterns and just be like, cuck, cringe, based, like everyone else I listen to nowadays. So, all right.
So
We got some
speaking of
stuff. Yeah, go
hold up.
ahead.
Speaking of cucks and other words that starts with C, um, guys, I'm really fucking cruise pilled recently.
Have we had this conversation plenty of times or what?
But hold on. It's not Tom Cruise that I'm talking about. It's the ship cruise that I'm talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Dude,
What
I
is that?
so I'm like fucking really depressed in my job, and I've been watching like TikToks, and I think the algorithm like knows I hate my job, so it's like showing me these TikToks of fucking like working on a cruise ship, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks really fucking sick. Like it's a city on the sea. There's like fucking like restaurants. There's like water parks on the ship. It looks. I would love to work on that.
Again, Tyson, that's just a typical example of a job that you could pursue that would probably pay you more when it came down to tips and would make you happier in the long run. You just have to lose some
Mm.
weight. No one wants some fat fuck on their yacht, especially a fat
Okay,
fuck guy.
dude, I've doxed my fucking picture to you. I'm not that fucking. Okay.
Listen, let's just move on from that specific point and just say that I think it's something that you should pursue. Cruise ships disgust me. I would never go on a cruise and willingly be stuck with other families with kids for a week or two at a time. I just wouldn't subject myself to that. That's not relaxing to me, being at sea and doing that. I'm sure there's some hot girls floating around,
I don't know.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
Search
he's
up
too close to
videos
home.
of like of this ship called Wonder of the Seas. It looks really fucking sick. There's like 20 stories in that.
See, I don't want that. I would want it to be. I go on vacation to relax or take in historical sites, not to just be stranded at sea with strangers and weirdos like you. So I don't know what to say about that. But hey, go on a cruise. Tell me how you like it. I mean, there's a really popular show around here called Below Deck that made a lot of younger women pursue yacht servant jobs. And I remember I used to hang out on my buddy's yacht a lot, and you would see these really big ones roll in, and there would be hot girls on them, like fluffing pillows. And then they would I think there were lesbians in one case. They would go in a crappy car and mess around and then go back onto the yacht. It was interesting. It was an interesting
Wish
exchange
that
of
was me.
ideas. Yeah, God, I wish that were me. So that could be you. That could be you. So just
I can become
Very
a
saying.
hot
trad,
lesbian. What the
Tyson. Very
fuck?
trad.
I think Tyson's past that phase. Thank God he's past the trad phase. We got him in a better one right now. He's gonna free himself. He's freeing. We're seeing a blossoming Tyson right now, which I'm happy to see. So just something to have a little bit of fun with. Because we're nearing towards the back end. I wasn't expecting such a battle of the sexes heavy episode, but I guess when I just say Andrew Tate, everyone just kind of gets pulled into the whirlwind of it. But I got a little bet going with Tyson right now because
Yeah, and you're gonna
we
fucking
have
lose.
we have big differing opinions on what we generally have similar taste on movies, maybe disagree here and there, but I think we have a fundamental disagreement on the intelligence levels of movies, what they're for, who they're for, how they're meant to be consumed. So I'm placing a big gamble. I think that this Dungeons and Dragons movie that's coming out is symbolic of where media needs to return to, and people, consumers, because they're stupid, don't understand that it's exactly what we need. It's not a sequel. It's not a usual superhero IP. It's its own original concept that again, it's based on obviously medieval fantasy, but at least it's trying to tell its own original story. And I think that it will end up doing well in theaters and will make more than $500 million. Tyson seems to not agree with me. So we're
See,
gonna
the thing is,
see.
though,
We'll
with
see.
your
Go ahead.
reasoning, I actually agree with you, that normies do love films that make them think that they're smarter than they are. Like, that's why fucking Nolan films are as big as they are, right? I just
Mm.
can see it so clearly. I just don't think the average populace would enjoy the Dungeons and Dragons movie. So that's why I made a bet more saying it's gonna never peak above 500 million
I
uh,
think people are
box
hungry
office
for it, and
worldwide.
they don't know how hungry they are for it, so they'll go and see it. That's what bothers me about that Everything Everywhere All at Once movie. Everyone talks about how good it is and how smart it is. Like, really, a bunch of things happening at the same time in different universes, and oh, it's an Asian lady, so we care now. Oh, what is that? Like, what do you want me to do with that? I don't care about that. So, oh, no one else
Well,
said anything.
I haven't seen the film, so I'm gonna watch it sometime this weekend, and I'll report back. But I
Yeah,
feel like you might be wrong on that
please
one. It could
report
be actually
back.
pretty good,
Yeah, yeah. So I saw that you wrote down something about Shazam as well. Did you see that?
dude. Yeah, like I can appreciate like a dumb movie, but like I saw the poster for Shazam 2, and there's like something like deeply disgusting about the Shazam films. Like it makes me like want to throw up every time I see it. Like there's something about it that just it's really disgusting. Do
Well,
you like get what I mean?
I don't think so because I liked the first one, but they are a little. They feel dark. I think the way they're shot might make you queasy because they are shot like grayscale. It feels like just
But
very,
dude,
very
that
dull.
the actor's like stupid fucking face on that buff body, like sipping a soda. I want to punch him so fucking bad. It's there's something wrong about that dude. Like
Oh my goodness. Well, I liked the second one, and well, that Zachary Levi guy's been in a lot of trouble recently because he's just been gunning for everyone. And he's really upset that the movie bombed astronomically. So I guess you're gonna take a big W in the end on that, but I'm gonna take a mega W on Dungeons and Dragons. It's gonna herald in a new generation of just fun, enjoyable movies. That's what people used to do. They go to the movies in the 80s and there'd be movies like Big Trouble in Little China or Point Break, just dumb action movies with guys with long hair doing ridiculous things. And people didn't know how good they had it. And then movies started to get more serious, and all of a sudden people don't want to go to movies anymore. I guess COVID didn't help with that. And then you just get a bunch of a million superhero movies that tide you over. It's like, what do you think you want? You want nice, fun, original movies. But you don't want to say that because you want to pretend you're fucking smart and go see some dumb Nolan movie that's like, oh, I get it. Oh, Interstellar, he loved her the whole time. Who fucking cares? That was so stupid. I'm so done with that shit.
dude,
It's like
speaking
ridiculous.
of having a good time watching films, after I watched John Wick 4, I was watching some other Keanu films, and then I watched this film called Knock Knock, and it's like the funniest fucking show in the world. I think I might have mentioned this before, but like the premise is basically it's Keanu, he lives at home, his wife died, and then these two fucking like really hot girls turn up to his house. They tie him down to his bed, and then they have sex with him, and he's like traumatized over this.
Well, isn't he cheating on his wife? Isn't that
No,
why?
his wife is dead, and it's like
Oh.
that's where the meme came in. Like these two fucking hot girls are like slobbing on Keanu's knob, and he's like, "No, don't suck my dick, don't suck my dick." It's
Isn't
like,
one of them Anna de Armas and she's naked? They show
yeah,
her naked in that
it's like,
movie?
dude, can I be Keanu in this fucking scenario? What the fuck?
No, don't suck my dick.
Yo, don't put your
Oh,
21-year-old pussy on my dick. What the fuck?
is that where that comes from? That is actually pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Well, I'm going to be seeing Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, so I'll be coming back with a full review, and I will be heralding in a change to cinema. And I wish that the average media consumer could come on it with me and have the vision that I have, but they won't. They're too dumb. They just think they want superhero movies and Nolan films over and over and over. And then the occasional Quentin Tarantino one, which it hasn't been good since Inglourious Bastards. He's just so full of shit, his last 3 or 4 movies. Although I do kind of want to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I don't watch movies. So
It's pretty good.
I think I have to give it up. Every clip I've seen from that movie makes it look like it's a good movie, especially when he picks up that one hippie girl in that truck.
Oh
That looks
yeah.
like a good scene. Yeah, I'm a
Oh
fan
yeah.
of that. So, all right, we're up to about an hour. So I think I'm good to go. Tyson, you got anything else that's on your mind that's really tugging at you, or you think you're all right?
Um. Yeah. After I started waging with my current job, I feel I kind of understand the appreciation of music. I feel like there's a horseshoe theory for music, right? So
Okay.
like the dumbest people, they're fucking oh, music's good, and then the midwits, they're like, I'm too smart for music. I'd rather listen to like spoken word podcasts or information.
Like
But
the
then
Pink Boys.
yeah,
Sorry.
but then for me, it's like after I finish work, it's like I can't fucking like listen to a podcast. I don't want to hear anyone talk anymore. I really enjoy like putting on a good album now and just playing some fucking video games, you know?
I completely disagree with you. I hate music and don't listen to it anymore. And this is someone who was in a metal band and was quite good at it, and enjoyed all forms of obscure music and really, really put an effort into it. But I think it's just, actually, it's not that it's boring. I get too emotional when I listen to music now. It's too emotional for me. I can't just relax when I'm listening to music. It makes me feel too much. So maybe that's my problem now that I'm thinking about it.
Mm.
So yeah,
All
I
I'm
just I
saying is
can't.
that I'm
Have
really fatigued with spoken words. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because when I put on songs I used to like when I was 19, 20, I just get a little sad. It's strange. Instead, I used to enjoy it. I put on like old Seosin or something like that, some emo type stuff, and I don't know, just it doesn't hit me. The only music I
Mm.
kind of listen to now are songs
no,
that I hear on
yeah,
TikTok that I
no.
kind of like, and that's it. But are you murmuring something from the depths there? You have a comment on this?
No, I was quoting My Chemical Romance, but I do have something to say about this.
Okay.
Um, okay, so the whole thing about music, putting you in like like a mood and that kind of thing, and that has confluence with. Do I even dare say the ancient word at this point? It's not about
What?
it's not about so this is where this came from. I wanted to talk about this today. So I have really, really bad migraines. It's genetic. Um and a few years ago, probably it wasn't a few years ago, when I was like 15, 16, I discovered this thing called binaural beats, or like
I used to use it for studying.
something called solfeggi frequencies and stuff. And
Okay.
it was just by chance that like I came across this one like audio thing called like delta waves migraine healing or something. I was like, okay, so my migraines used to be like really bad, like to the point where when I was a kid, like I'm talking like 10 years old, they put me on like hormone therapy, like experimentally to see if it fixes it. Or
Explains a
like
lot.
no, testosterone. They'd also no, this isn't funny, okay? Because it was on the scale of like a mini stroke, and there's a
Having a
real.
headache is such a feminine trait, but keep
It's not
going.
a fucking headache.
Okay.
Migraines. I have like chronic migraines. They're literally like mini strokes happening in your
That's what
brain.
26-year-old girls say, but keep going.
Yeah.
No, oh fuck
I'd be like,
off.
my head hurts.
You're my left eye goes blind. How do you explain that? You lot are fucking cunts. You know that, right? This is actually like
My
a
head hurts.
neurological affliction.
I need a
It's a
bottle of
neurological
water.
affliction that like cripples me physiologically, and I lose sight in my left eye. And like back when it would happen in school, I'd literally collapse to the floor and just like throw up and have a seizure. And here you are, you being a fucking cunt like that.
Oh my
God, I
god.
hope you get hit
What
by
did
a
the
car.
classroom do when you pretended that heavily?
you're a
Yeah,
fucking cunt.
he just like, oh, Ari's doing it again.
It was probably like the health class where they were giving the sex talk, and he's just like, "Oh no, no, I got a migraine."
No, I was literally a kid. This was happening like from the age of like 5 onwards. You're
Mm.
actually
What
this is
if what if Ari had those migraines every time during history class? That's why his perception of history and the Anunnaki is like so warped because he didn't have history in his childhood.
That's like me. I was never taught geography. I was homeschooled. I was never taught I could not tell you where
I would
Nebraska
literally get
is.
taken away in an ambulance and they'd put me in like an MRI booth and they'd watch my brain spaz out in real time.
Would they
And then they'd
really?
they'd put me on opiates. Yes. You lot are actual fucking cunts.
All right.
No, Ari,
Anyway.
I can kind of relate because for
No,
the
you
past 2
can't. Shut
years,
the fuck up.
actually,
Shut the
no,
fuck up.
hold on,
Shut the
hold on.
fuck up. Shut the fuck. You're just
Hold
having,
on.
you're probably just having food comas.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
right, right. No, Tyson, real
no,
quick.
no,
You're
no.
doing
Hold on,
real quick.
let
Let
me
me
just
just
say this.
say,
Okay.
I'll just say, you can say it in a second. I'm just saying, you're doing that thing where it's like, do you ever, one of the few times The Onion was actually funny, if it's The Onion, it's like things to never say to someone when they come out to you as being gay. I'm gayer. Like, that's what you just did to Ari. He's like, I have migraines. And you're like, yeah, that reminds me of my migraines too. But sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you were mentioning your crippling migraines, Ari, and for the past 3 years, like once every 2 months, just before I go to sleep, I'll have like a brain seizure. So that's I can kind of relate to you there.
What
My eye
does that even mean?
I lose
Uh,
sight in my left eye. Light hurts physically, and
yeah.
then it feel like half of my body is about to explode. Most of it focused in my left eye. Like it feels like it's
Mm,
being squeezed and that my brain's about to explode. Why am I explaining? Anyway, so
I'm
I
there
was
with
trying to
you.
offer help to
I
people that
understand.
may like suffer from something similar. Anyway, I came across this thing when I was
Yeah,
like
what's the thing?
15 or 16 and it worked. I'd listen to it and I'd feel like pain fading and stuff in real time. I'd have to like put myself to bed and like have everything dark. But like where I'd have to previously take opiates, like opium or whatever, like codeine, morphine, whatever the fuck. Um I could I mean, in a pinch, I could use this and it would work
What
maybe
was the
just as
sound
effectively.
called? What was it
So
called?
I can send you a link. They're like binaural beats, delta waves. So I just want. So it's only recently, right, that I introduced it to. So I've been using these for years, and my mother, who also suffers from the same thing, and she suffered like 2 or 3 strokes as a result of that. Tyson.
Mhm.
Um, so
Wait, yes. Sorry, keep going.
yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, it's not. Maybe there's a better word for migraine, but like, um, for this type of migraine, but like they're like mini strokes, and they have real effects. Okay, and in my mother's case, it induced a brain hemorrhage. So
Okay.
Mm.
it's not like a fucking joke. All right, that's all I wanted to
I
make
didn't say it
clear.
was a joke.
No, I know what you're like.
I
So
No,
eh,
no,
I
it's
told you
fine, it's fine, it's
I've got
fine,
similar
I'm over it, it's
experiences.
fine, let me just get onto this. So, I introduced her, and she thought it was amazing, and I also introduced her to my brother who has a bit of it, and they were kind of mind blown by this. So I was like, "Oh, that's quite interesting." So I've been looking into it, and it turns out this is like a kind of thing. So and there's, like, real scientific research on it as well. So what I'll run it down. So what a binaural beat is, it's a
quickly.
phenomenon where 2 frequencies are played in each ear, and one is like higher than the other just by a tiny bit, and the brain synthesizes a kind of beat between the discrepancy of this. So like if there's like a frequency that your ears can't physically hear, you can play 2 higher frequencies that have like the difference within that discrepancy, and then your brain will synthesize it. And supposedly these particular frequencies, there are like different types, can induce altered states of consciousness, and have real effects on the brain. And this can be seen in like EEG scans and MRI scans and all that in real time. So
Okay.
Mm.
that's the basis of it. So for
Okay.
binaural beats, there's stuff of like the Monroe Institute, and they use cool stuff. There's this other thing. So a guy named Guido d'Arezzo, who's a Benedictine
Guido.
monk in about the 11th century AD. He was also like really obsessed with this, and he'd use like maths to like to create like a pure sound. And he came up with a scale called the solfeggio frequency scale, and this would like list down. This was like a list of like what different frequencies do and how you can use them. So if you guys want to try this out, you can like type these in into YouTube and find these. You can type in like binaural beats or whatever. So here we go. 40 hertz. This is probably the most applicable to like you guys. This is like a frequency that's it
You're
may
not going
help
to
in
go
like
through every single one right now. We understand the general concept, so thank you for that. Look up binaural
all
beats. Yeah, what are you going to go? And at
something
100
go
hertz, it prolapses your anus. Like, what do you want me to do with that? So,
Blows with
or
action.
you could do all the
there are some
stupid
cool
stuff.
things that
Ari,
they do.
okay, yeah, like that's
I'll
another
leave it at
5
that.
to
Go for
10
it.
minutes.
Go
Yeah,
for it.
that
Go
was
for
good.
it.
That was
Just
good. So you could do that, or you could listen to Animal Crossing 2 soundtrack with rain sound effects in the background mix, which is what I do. So that's my binaural beats, or just
music.
some retro game soundtrack too. That's generally what
Verdi's
gets
a
me. But
classical music used to be composed in 432 hertz, which would supposedly resonate better with the human frequency. There's some conspiracy that later on, Western music had moved to like a basal frequency of
Oh,
440 hertz, and this would supposedly induce stress and more negative symptoms.
I
Um,
actually,
like,
you know what? I kind of believe you, Ari, because I saw a Drake remix song, and it said remixed to 432 hertz, and it sounded way better than the fucking original. So that could be why.
really, Drizzy solved the
Yeah.
solved the migraine problem. Quick, get
no
these over to an obscure
migraines.
British family. We could save a whole family with this Drake
No,
beat.
no, see, the migraine thing is like that was delta. That was a
I'm
different frequency.
sorry. All right, all
That like
right. Yeah, my
uh,
frequency goes to another school. I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun with you. All right, all right. Much appreciated. Check that out, everyone, if you got the chance. But I'm ready. I'm ready to wrap things up here. We're over an hour, so I'm just gonna say, go see Dungeons and Dragons. It's gonna kill it, and I'm ready to have fun at the theaters, and I hope you guys are too. Tyson, you got anything?
Yeah, search up Drake Mob Ties 432 hertz slowed. Kino. Pure Kino.
We need to have an entire Drake segment on this show because I have a lot to say about Drake. I have like a whole chronology of things to say about Drake because you guys were in college when Drake was dropping the good shit. That was when that was a good time to be alive.
I
So
found the name of my
I
thing. I know, I just had to make it no, because I didn't like the fact that like you fucking dismissing like my medical affliction. It's called a hemiplegic migraine. Emphasis on hemiplegic, okay? It only affects a small population in the world. Just so you know, I'm not making shit up, and I'm not a little fucking girl.
well, there used to be things that were classified as afflictions that aren't anymore that were in some biological textbooks. But
This
anyways,
is
really makes you think. So you can close this out. Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Finish this off.
fuck you.